Attempt number 3 to film this. Um, I don't think I'm dropping any groundbreaking news here. I'm not a Sheffield level power lifter. I'm not even nationally known to for the most part, but I have a lot of friends that I power lift with. I have a lot of friends who follow this page, all 500 of you, and people always asking, when is the next meet? When is the next meet? And stuff like that. So I want to get this out there. This isn't bait. This isn't some stupid, but for the foreseeable future, maybe even permanently, I will be stepping away from powerlifting. And I'll just talk about how we got here. I have a history of shoulder dislocations. It's been happening since high school, and it's random, pops right back into place. So it's like a subluxation. It's like a temporary dislocation. Um, and it was never something that was taken seriously. And it kind of got taken seriously around the fall 2024 semester. I am prepping for the 2024 Cougar Classic powerlifting meet in Houston, Texas. And I'm performing a dumbbell bench, last set, last rep, going all out, like RPE 10. And as I'm pushing up, my left shoulder pops out of place. I yell, I drop the dumbbells. I think I yelled more, not because of the pain, but because, oh my gosh, my shoulder just came out of place while I was doing a dumbbell bench. Popped right back into place after when I tried to move it around a bit, but like that was terrifying. I said I was going to get it checked out. Guess what? I didn't. I was a college student making like $12 an hour. So paying for a visit like that and any further treatment, it didn't seem viable for me. Let's fast forward in time. I've just competed in December and I'm thinking back. I'm like, okay, my bench sucks. My squat and deadlift are always progressing, even when I'm starving myself. My bench isn't. Why is my bench not progressing like everything else? And then I realized, like, wow, I have a huge mobility issue. One side of my body can move much better than the other. And maybe that's why my bench is so crooked. Maybe that's why I have all these issues. I thought that was the case. So I make an appointment with an orthopedic, go get my shoulders checked out, get an x ray. And long story short, orthopedic comes in the room. He says, you have weak shoulder joints, which I knew already. But he also said, you are shaving down your shoulder joint, your AC joint. It is being shaved down from heavy pressing. Because every time you're at the bottom of a heavy bench, your shoulders are basically being popped out of place. The joint is slightly popping out of place at the bottom of every bench press. And in the most simplest terms, I am destroying my shoulder joints at the age of 23 from bench pressing 300 pounds, which isn't competitive in powerlifting. And he said, you need to give up heavy pressing. And if you don't, you're probably going to have arthritis in your early 30s. And that news hit hard. Um, I questioned him about it. He says, oh, no, you need to stick to flies. You need to stick to this and that. Because if I keep trying to force bench, it's going to keep wrecking me. And this news hit hard because powerlifting has been everything for me for the past, I think, 4 years of my life. It's been, and that probably doesn't seem long, but the things that I have accomplished coming into this, barely totaling 1,100 to being on the cusp of a 1,700-pound total, it took a lot for me to get there. I've given everything to this. And when you're weighing it out, saying, okay, so do I keep trying to force powerlifting? Do I keep trying to fight my anatomy to maybe get a 400-pound bench press someday whenever my body literally isn't built for it? Or do I give it up and pursue something else? What sucks is I try to look it up, try to get advice on it, and this doesn't seem like something that powerlifters have dealt with and gotten away with. You can find people that have had total shoulder replacements and bench pressed after and competed after, but this kind of situation where you're trying to prevent it before anything like that happens, you really can't find that. I can't find that, and I really don't want to have a shoulder replacement at the age of 33 or something. Powerlifting is a very cruel sport. It's very selective. The people who are at the top don't deal with issues like this. And it's not to take away from them. That's not to say that, oh, they're only good because they're lucky enough to not have shoulder issues. That's why they could bench 400, 500, sometimes even 600 pounds. It's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying that not everybody can make it to the top. And I fought that within myself for so long. I have long femurs. I have long arms. I am not built like a powerlifter. And I always said from day one that didn't matter. I was going to fight to be successful in this sport. I probably should not have made it as far as I did. I probably should not have squatted 600 pounds with how much I have to bend over the bottom of a squat just to be able to stay as upright as possible. I should not have, well, maybe I should have deadlifted 7. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I am built to deadlift. But to do what I have done and make it as far as I have, I probably shouldn't have. And I got the news out of the way. I broke it. I mean, like, that's it. I can only ramble on about it for so much longer. But I guess I want to use this opportunity to talk about one thing that's very important to me and why it does hurt to let go of powerlifting when I haven't won a national title. I haven't won a world's medal. I haven't even gone to worlds. Powerlifting probably saved my life. I'm not going to get into all the details of that. Probably not going to get into all the details of what drove me to that point. But starting in the summer of 2024 and for almost a year after that, I really felt like I had nothing going for me. Everything sucked. Literally, almost everything sucked. I felt a little hopeless. I felt like I didn't have direction. I was about to graduate college and I didn't have a job lined up after. I didn't know where I was going to go with anything. But I had powerlifting. Powerlifting, you put the work in, nobody can deny you. Nobody can tell you that they think somebody else is better than you if you have the numbers to show that that's not the case. So powerlifting was my outlet to express myself on the platform, to work for something and not be able to be denied, not be able to be told no when I've put the work in, whenever I do deserve it because my numbers say so. And there were times where it felt like powerlifting was the one good thing that I had. And people like to laugh about that. And I've seen the posts on Instagram. You see people laughing about others who take powerlifting too seriously. They'll see people get emotional before their lifts and they'll scream and they'll have a song that they love to listen to before they hit a lift. They say like, chill, bro, it's just powerlifting. And maybe it is. But I'd love to ask those people who post things like that and ridicule other people for being passionate about something, who are being maybe too chalant about something like powerlifting. Those people probably don't know what it's like to live life day after day, sometimes going days without talking to someone, going for months, for long stretches of time, feeling like the only people who care about you are your parents who live hours away, who have nothing else going for them, who feel like there is no other outlet to express themselves, to be themselves, who feel like powerlifting is their only way to do that. That's what powerlifting was for me. That's why totaling 1,600 for the first time, deadlifting 700 pounds for the first time, meant so much because I could not be denied. That was my self-expression. That was me being me. And I've improved since then, mentally. I hate the constant mental health talk, but it's so real. And you learn how real it is when you experience it yourself. And you especially learn how real it is when you experience it yourself and you feel like nobody understands you. You try therapy, you try talking to therapists, and they don't even get it. And you feel stupid because they don't get it. And it feels like they undermine you. And some people take it out with drugs. Some people take it out with alcohol, with gambling, with vices. I chose to use powerlifting to express myself there. And most people will maybe never understand that. But also, there's probably a lot of other people who use powerlifting to do that for themselves too. And maybe that's why powerlifting is so serious to these people. Maybe it's why a sport where they're not even, they don't even have a 450 dots, yet they still take this so seriously because they can't be denied by the rest of the world. They can't be told no when they have everything to show for why they should be told yes. I'm doing this without a script. So like I'm dreaming all this up right now, but I don't think my last mark on this sport was a local meet I competed in December. Um, like I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm coaching one client, my girlfriend, and it has been a very rewarding experience. And coaching is something I'm going to break into more and more. Just kind of a trial run, but it's going good so far. Um, and I have a lot more to give to strength sports in general. I'm not going to go fully into how I'm expressing that from now on, how my training is going to look from now on, but I'm not done. Maybe powerlifting is something that I'm temporarily done with, or maybe permanently done with, depending on how physical therapy goes and what I can maybe find. If I can maybe find somebody else who's dealt with something like this and how they overcame it. But for now, I'm going to find new ways to be a part of fitness because this is something I'm passionate about. And powerlifting, I felt like was the best way for me to express that. And you know, it's so crazy because for so long, I always questioned, everybody always questioned, why does he deadlift so much? Why does he squat so much? Why does it deadlift and squat keep improving? Yet I was stuck between a 275 and a 303 bench for like almost 3 years. And that kind of explains everything. How are you supposed to improve your bench when every time you start making some progress, you get some kind of overuse injury? And it turns out you're getting overuse injuries because every time you're at the bottom of a bench, your shoulders are slightly popping out of place. It's just, it comes full circle. It's like the lift you suck at the most that held you back for so long is the same one that takes you out of the sport. And like I could keep squatting and I could keep deadlifting, but and I will, but people have said, "Oh, you can keep competing. Just do a heavy squat and a heavy deadlift at a local meet, and just like do a little light bench." But for me, it's like if I can't put my all into it, then it feels pointless. Where's the motivation to keep training in this specific way for powerlifting if I can't give my all to it? If I'm just half-assing it day in and day out? But I will forever be grateful for the experiences it brought me, for the people who supported me, and the people who have gone out of their way in the past year to express to me how I inspired them with my story and everything I have done in this sport. And maybe that doesn't extend past the city of Baton Rouge. Maybe it doesn't extend past the university that is Louisiana State University and LSU powerlifting, what I did there. But man, it made a world of a difference to me. But this isn't the last you'll be hearing from me. But this is a crossroads, and I could step away from it all. I could get out of shape. I could just let go of everything I've built for these past 4 years, or I could just find a new way to express it. And I think I'll be doing the latter. I don't know how much more I can say about it. Um, I think I can end it on that note. So, this is the big Tatus.